Ladies and gentlemen, evening and welcome to your favorite English news program that I will be running today with two important guests. The first person, Bruno Harden, is with me in studio. Bruno, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Bruno Harden, the president of Pan-African Organization of Art and Culture.
Yeah, with him we shall be talking about the two saints that will be made tomorrow by the Catholic Church. And we know these two saints. One of them is John Paul II, who was in Togo some years ago. With the second guest, we shall have a point of view on the 54th independence celebration of Togo that will be coming on tomorrow with a military as well as civilian parade. The catalyst of Togo's 54th anniversary celebration of its ascension to independence started to show up with the inaugural ceremony in Lomé and outside the Togolese capital, chaired by the head of state for Eswatini Nyasingbe. This morning it was the Blue Line Togo main railway station that was inaugurated to serve as an international railway road network terminus in Togo. Paul Nyasingbe unveiled the memorial stone of this infrastructure before having a jolly ride on board a wagon of this train to Kakaveli, a northern suburb of the Togolese capital, Lomé. Still within the vein of the 54th independence celebration of Togo, the head of state for Eswatini Nyasingbe reception for the Togo Coastal Guards, a naval vessel named Agu, built in France for the security of the Togolese coastal line. It was yesterday in the morning at the autonomous port of Lomé. Marie Sakotier has a report.
First stop of the head of state, the autonomous port of Lomé, where the Coastal Guards vessel named after the highest mountain of Togo, Mont Agu, manufactured in France, was inaugurated. For Nyasingbe on arrival at the Lomé harbor was given the necessary military honors. After being settled, the president listening to the explanations given by Mr. John Michael Homer, engineer of the Coastal Guards vessel constructional firm from Bretagne in France. He expressed his company's gratitude to the president, who was at the constructional seat to see how work on the vessel was being done. Officer Adjovignon Kojo, in charge of the Togo naval base, pointed out the need of such a vessel to help improve security work done by the Togo Armed Forces along the 50 kilometers coastal lines bordering the southern part of the country. The Togolese Chief of Defense Staff also took the floor to give some specifications on the Agu vessel, which is 34 meters long and has a mobility of 45 kilometers per hour and well equipped to combat piracy and high sea wholly organized. This was followed by the sword cutting and the usual inaugural ceremony and visit.
Voilà, par binôme dans les postes, sauf dans ce local.
The town of Aneho in the Lake District also welcomed warmly Paul Eswatini Nyasingbe yesterday. He was there for the final reception and the inaugural ceremony of the Sea Defense Project realized by the Togo government with the help of the French Development Agency. Marie Sakotier was there. Let's have her report.
The horrifying images on the fast environmental degradation of the Togolese coastal line some years ago, particularly in the Lac district where the international road to Benin was reconstructed 3 times already, have been forgotten today. Being eroded at a very fast rate, that is 12 meters every year, the government decided to put an end to this phenomenon in the district. A special sea defense system financed by the government was inaugurated yesterday by Fort Nyasingbe in the town of Aneho. A warm traditional welcome was given to the president by rulers and traditional priests from the Lac district. The chief of Adido in Aneho expressed the beneficiaries' gratitude to the president and members of the government. He declared that due to the sea erosion, his palace was totally destroyed by the sea erosion and he was forced to build a new one at Nlensi. He recorded to him this erosion started 45 years ago and affected towns along the West African coast from Nigeria to Senegal. The representative of the UEMOA in his address hailed the initiative of the Togolese head of state and promised ideas he always brings forth for the well-being of the sub-regional organization. He appreciated the infrastructure financed by the French Development Agency to the tune of 3 billion CFA francs. The memory stone was unveiled and authorities present visited the site.
Togolese women honored for their hard work, endeavor and contributions to Togo's economy. The famous Nana Benz noted for their involvement in the clothing market were given a whole week to exhibit at a giant fair of clothes and wares they deal in. The fair was officially opened by the Togolese Prime Minister Aten Kwesi Seliagodi Aumesunu at the Congress Hall Lome yesterday. 2 keynote addresses marked the event. That of the Togolese Minister of Commerce, the Chairman of the Togolese Chamber of Commerce, and the Prime Minister, who underscored that clothes such as the Java wax, Holland wax, the Super, Bogolan and others should not be taken as mere clothing and wares, but should be considered as traditional values. He further said the Togolese government will do all possible best to make this event a yearly international encounter. Pope John Paul II and Pope John XXIII will be declared saints in a historic double canonization this Sunday. This dual canonization of popes is to highlight heroic sanctity. We need to recall here that Pope John Paul II visited Togo in the 80s and apart from Lome was in Kara and in Togoville in the Vaud district of the country. Well, I have with me today in studio Mr. Bruno Hedden. Mr. Bruno, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome again. You will more introduce yourself, but we go straight to the questions. Yesterday you had an exhibition that was opened at the major seminar in Lome. So what is the aim of your exhibition?
Our aim of exhibition is to make memory of the visit of Pope John Paul II in Togo in 8 to 10 August 1985, so that all the people in Togo who don't have the opportunity to see the Pope to come to our 102 Peters exhibiting in the seminary in Togo, especially in Lome, to see that with the pictures we can evangelize people and make them to see that the Pope John Paul II is the only Pope who came to our country, Togo.
So you're just talking about the aim of your exhibition, and how was that of the exhibition organized? How were you able to organize to have the 102 pictures or the 102 shots of Pope John Paul II's visit to Togo?
This exhibition was organized by the Pan-African Organization of Culture and Art with the fraternity in the parish of St. Anthony's in Hankope. You have organized this exhibition with the help of the community of the Sisters of Good Pastors, who was able to open the archive to us so that we can take the pictures and show to the people. And at the same time, we want to say a big thanks to the rector of the seminary who welcomed us and accompanied us through this project.
Okay, so you just talk about the project, the aim of the project. Who can benefit from this project?
Everybody, I mean every people in Togo can benefit of that project, because the Pope John II, as they have come to Togo, have said one thing about the Togo people. He said Togo is a blessed nation, and you never forget Togo with his heart. That means everybody, whether they're Christians, a Muslims, a Protestant or a Catholic, you can benefit, because when he came to Togo, he was able to receive the Protestants, the Muslims and the Catholics. That means everybody can come to the exhibition and see what John Paul II have done through the step of Kara, Rome and Togo.
Yeah, so now that you have gathered 102 pictures, those pictures, are they only for the event, tomorrow's event? And what are your future plans about these pictures? How are you going to do them?
Our future plan is that we are looking for a financement to build a museum for all those pictures, because they are the only pictures we are going to exhibit. For the pictures, we are going to exhibit some other pictures to the Togo people to see that with pictures you can do a lot of things.
Yeah. So now, what special message do you have for Catholic Christians tomorrow, because the popes are going to become saints tomorrow?
What I have, the message I have to those people is that tomorrow is our 54th Independence Day. Togo is blessed because it's on our Independence Day. We are going to be canonized two popes, John Paul II and John the 23rd. And our message is that the government to help us to verify the avenue of John Paul II, and we are going to ask the government to make a square or a circle for John Paul II, because John Paul II is still the only pope who have come to Togo.
Yeah, so thank you very much for coming to this studio to give us more clarification about the exhibition that you had yesterday. Well, viewers, to give you a gist into tomorrow's event, our crew met with Reverend Father Clifford of the English Catholic Community of Lome. Let's listen to him, his point of views on the issue of canonization.
It will be historic on Sunday, the 27th of April 2014, when two erudite scholars of the church, in the name of Pope John the 23rd and Pope John Paul II, will be made saints of the Catholic Church. And there is good also we give little analysis about them. Pope John the 23rd was born in a place called Bergamo in Italy some years back, and he was the Pope or the Pontiff of the Catholic Church from the year 1958 to the year 1963. This Pope, as we heard about him, was a Pope that came and brought in some level of reformation in the church. And that reformation he brought is solely when he was preaching about the Pentecost experience, asking God to renew the face of the earth, so that the world will be renewed with some level of newness in ideas, newness in worship, so that the church will not be stagnant, rather will to be a church that will renew people. So before now, as we heard about him, he was a man, even when he was in the seminary, that's a place of training, devoted himself with some level of virtues, like being humility, being humble, being generous, also having authentic way of living. This enabled him to come up with the idea that one can be an authentic person, and as time goes on, God led him to be the Supreme Pontiff of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. That being the case, we also bring to light the second personnel for Sunday's canonization in the person of Pope John Paul II. This is the one that lived almost in our own age. He was the Pope between 1978 through the year 2005 when he died and was buried. He is by name Karol Wojtyla from Krakow, Poland. So he was also a disciplined man, a man of great virtue, simple and prayerful. And this enabled him to touch many lives during the time of his papacy. So that is the summary of the two personalities the church will canonize on Sunday, the 27th of April, 2014.
Well, you just listened to Reverend Father Clifford, in charge of the English parish of Lome. Now we turn to the second guest that I have in studio today, and Seyram, you welcome.
Thank you.
Well, Seyram is with her. Can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay, I'm Seyram Joki.
Yes, so what do you do in life? Can you just talk louder?
Okay, I'm an administrative assistant.
Okay. Well, Seyram is going to talk today about the contribution of women towards nation building, since tomorrow is our Independence Day celebration, the 54th anniversary celebration of Togo's accession to independence. Seyram, now as a woman, what can you tell us about your contribution towards the development of Togo, or as a Togolese woman? What are some of the contributions you brought to nation building?
So far, I've seen that we've not reached anywhere. As tomorrow will be 54 years of independence, there is more to be done.
Yeah, so you think there is more to be done in matters of what are some of the things to be done?
There must be a creation of the Ministry of Women's Affairs, which will help promote girls' education. Possibly if it can be free for all the women. I've seen that most women are just in the house doing the house calls.
Yeah. So we just talk about girls' education, if it can be free. We know that primary education is free in Togo.
Yes.
And we also know that they have a ministry of for the promotion of women. Now, what can you tell us about the contribution of these women? In which sectors do they contribute for the building of the nation?
I've seen that most women don't know their rights. So there must be a fair to promote or to educate them about their rights, so that whenever someone infringes on their rights, they will know what to do, and that person will be punished.
Yeah, so you want women to know about their rights. And
yes.
What are some of the things you can propose as a woman, as a Togolese woman?
We shouldn't just sit down and say that, oh, all the decision making are for men. You can't wait for a man to make a decision for you. Sometimes we have a decision or an idea to bring to make things possible, or to promote the development. Because our rights have been infringed by the men, we are afraid to talk.
Yes.
So we don't have to be afraid. We have to free our mind, tell whatever we have our mind, so that whenever we also bring our mind, they will know that we also have some things important.
Yeah, so you just talk about women and their rights.
Yeah.
So what are some of the about decision making? What can you say about decision making? In the field of decision making, what is the place of the woman? When you have a look at the women, you realize that there are some women who are excelling.
Yes.
Women who are present today in the world, women who are in parliament. So what can you say about decision making and women?
As for decision making, I think we should be more encouraged. Yeah. Sometimes we don't have to say we are afraid, but we have to free our mind. Or sometimes too, we know that we can do the thing, but because we are afraid, we can't say whatever or we can't express ourselves or say that we can do it because we are afraid.
So now that Togo is going to celebrate its 54th anniversary, the 54th anniversary of its independence today, what can you tell women about this fear that is in them today? That women, what do you have for them?
I think we women, we have to stand on our feet, free our mind. Whatever we have on our mind, we have to say it so that our rights or our contribution will also promote the development of the country.
Okay, thank you very much for coming to studio. But before you leave, which message do you have for Togolese women, young girls and girls, for tomorrow's event?
As for tomorrow, I wish them a happy Independence Day. So we should, I need them not to be afraid of anybody. We should just free our mind and be part of decision making.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Well, viewers, it is on this that we bring to this program to an end. I hope to be with you again next week for another program. By saying, have a nice weekend and enjoy yourself tomorrow during the 54th anniversary celebration of our independence.